So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel and their genocide against the Palestinian people. Yes, you heard that right. I am deemed a threat to national security because I don't support Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people. Since when does not supporting a foreign nation get a U.S. soldier investigated for being a threat to national security? So this is the first one. They don't like that banner right there that says, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Of course, in Israel, that is the forbidden phrase. So they don't like that banner, but they're saying this isn't over, it's not anti-Israel. For whatever reason, they're saying that's not why they're against these. They're saying it's political. But if this is political, it's only political to Israel. It's not political to the United States. This is the second one, which I did delete. I was calling for a boycott of the military so the U.S. government would stop sending money and weapons to Israel, because as you can see from the post, 68% of all weapons the IDF uses against the Palestinian people come from the United States. That's 68%. That means every bomb they're dropping in Gaza on innocent babies and children is your taxpayer dollars funding those bombs, American-made bombs. I have since deleted this post because it was calling for a boycott of the army. So it's already deleted. It's already gone. You're not going to see it on any of my posts. But again, to me, this was anti-Israel because I, was trying to pressure the government to stop funding the genocide that is going on in Israel. The next one they flagged is me talking about Israel's aid pack, which was founded in 1954 as the American Zionist Committee for Public Affairs. And this is what funds your politicians' campaigns in the United States. Every member of Congress, except for 5, are taking money from Israel's aid pack. So who do you think your politicians are putting first? Do you think they're American first, like Trump says, or do you think they're Israel first when they're taking all this money from the aid pack? Why do you think we're sending billions of dollars to Israel? Why do you think we're sending weapons to Israel? Why do you think we're paying Egypt billions of dollars every year to recognize Israel? That's why Egypt has closed their border to Gaza and won't let aid through, because we are paying them to keep that border closed, and we are paying them to recognize Israel as a state. This is the next one. On this post, obviously the picture kind of speaks for itself. The U.S. government is the world's largest terrorist organization. And the reason that I had posted this is, for one, the colonists of this country and then subsequently the United States have killed millions of Native Americans. We literally wiped out 95% of the Native American population in this country. If that's not terrorism, tell me what it is. Because it is terrorism. And we did it to make room for white settlers in our own country. And this is why Gaza means so much to me, because I wasn't alive when it happened to the Native Americans. I couldn't stand up for them, but I am alive now. And the world needs to stand with Gaza. The world needs to stop Israel, because they are doing the same thing to the Palestinian people. They are wiping them out every day. They are killing women, children, babies, unarmed men, because they say they're military aged, and because for the unarmed men, because they're military aged, we got to kill them. It's not right. So again, anti-Israel post. I went ahead and deleted it because, it says the U.S. government is the world's greatest terrorist organization. Besides killing Native Americans, besides funding Israel, the U.S. government has overthrown 60 democratically elected governments throughout the world so that we could get cheap oil and other cheap resources. That's 60. In 1953, we overthrew the democratically elected government in Iran. Why do you think the Middle East hates us so much? Why do you think Iran hates us so much? And then we want to cite the uprising in the 70s and say that Iran's this horrible place because they overthrew the dictator that the U.S. installed, the puppet government that the U.S. installed, because the British and the U.S. wanted cheap oil from Iran. Why do you think children in Africa are mining resources? That is because the colonist powers of the world, whether it's the U.S., whether it's France, whether it's the UK, they want cheap materials for batteries. They want cheap materials for everything they can get, and they don't care that children are in these mines in Africa. All they care about is that we get cheap stuff to sell our citizens to keep our economy functioning so that our corporations can make billions of dollars. And it doesn't matter how many children die in Africa in the process, or any other country where the US and the UK and France have done this. Next post up. We are the chosen people. We are the chosen race. Same words, same madness. We had said never again after World War II, but we have spent 77 years letting Israel terrorize the Palestinian people, kill the Palestinian people, go to war with their neighbors, terrorize other countries in the Middle East, all while your US dollars are paying for it. You are complicit as American citizens in what is going on in Gaza, what is going on in Palestine, because it is your tax dollars funding it. Anti-Israel post. Again, anti-Israel, because I say I'm a proud anti-Zionist. Yes, I'm a proud anti-Zionist because I don't believe killing people and stealing their land. Whether it's in the U.S. or whether it's in Palestine, it's wrong. Here's another one. Anti-Israel. But yet, when I made the TikTok, the Army denies that they're punishing me for my anti-Israel stance. Now, there was a message at the top that I had that I've since deleted. The post itself is still there, but my response has been deleted. Also, I deleted my Blue Sky account, so I don't have that anymore, but I do have the same post on my other social media accounts, just without that that extra part at the top. I had deleted that. This next one, pro-Native American, and they flagged it because I'm saying no one is illegal on stolen land. The entire United States was stolen from the Native American people. And the Native American people include Native Mexicans. The people that ICE are rounding up were native to this land before we stole it. These are Native people. And they flagged it. Pro-Native American. Why'd they flag it? Because they don't like the truth. They don't like that I'm saying what they did is wrong. Pro-Mexico, because I thanked the president of Mexico for sending her rescuers to Texas to save flood victims when FEMA failed to respond. When the governor of Texas failed to send in the National Guard. The president of Mexico stepped up. She saved American lives, but yet this is political, according to my unit, so I can't have it posted. Doesn't make sense. This one, I consider a crime against humanity because we're literally locking up women, children, and men in our country. We're not giving them due process. We're just picking them up on the street, throwing them into prisons, and it doesn't even matter if they're U.S. citizens, because a lot of U.S. citizens have been picked up by ICE and thrown into these cages. There have been U.S. citizens that have been deported. But again, this is supposed to be political, and so I'm not supposed to talk about it. I'm not supposed to talk about the fact that I took an oath to support my country from enemies, both foreign and domestic. And quite honestly, I see ICE and what they're doing as a domestic enemy to this country. Because here's the problem. When you allow masked ICE agents in vans to kidnap people off the street, how many psychopaths are going to put on a mask, get in a van, and go kidnap and kill people? It happens. How many people are kidnapped and being held by some psychopath right now? Or have been killed by some psychopath? Or been raped by some psychopath because the government says ICE has the right to cover their face? Anybody can put on a vest and slap an ICE sticker on it and put on a mask, get in a van, and go kidnap anyone they want. That's what's going on our streets right now in America. That's what's happening. This is De-icer. It's available on a Google Play Store. It is to alert people when you see ICE. So they're telling me I'm in trouble for allowing people to know where ICE is. I don't have this app on my phone. All I did was post this post. So I have never let anyone know where ICE is because I just let people know, hey, this app exists. If you want to get it, if you want to alert people when you see ICE, you can do that. I've never alerted anyone because I don't have the app. Plus, I've never seen ICE where I'm at, thankfully. Also, as you can see, it was deleted after the counseling. I deleted that because they were, saying that was a punishable, like that was a severe offense by having that on my account. This is another one, anti-ICE, which I've since deleted. On this one, it was a crowd-funded list of ICE agents. So if you've seen ICE and you took a picture of them and you got their name, you could go to that website, you could upload the picture, you could upload their name, and let everyone know who they were, since they're riding around with masks on in the event that you ever caught them without their mask. Again, I deleted it because they were saying this was a severe offense. This one was a YouTube post from Bruce Springsteen that I shared on my account. Again, they're saying it's political. And I mean, I kind of get it, because I did say, you know, current administration only stands for hate and oppression. But I'm just sharing Bruce Springsteen's message. This over 2 months ago, but the person that I was friends with in my unit had taken a screenshot, and after I had posted my last TikTok video, they sent it to my unit. So of course my unit printed this out, even though it's been deleted for over 2 months now. Because when I friended that person, I specifically asked, like, well, I didn't ask them. They gave me their opinion. They said it was wrong, that I needed to delete it, so I deleted it. But yet, even though I listened to them and deleted it, they still gave it to my unit to use against me. This is another one that I deleted about 2 months ago. This is not political. This is anti-Confederacy. The Confederates lost the war. We should not be celebrating losers, period, plain and simple. That's my stance. They lost the war. You can sit there and raise their flag all you want and say it's about history and blah, blah, blah. They were in the wrong, and they lost the war. No military bases should be named after these losers who lost the war, period. It's wrong. But again, I deleted that over 2 months ago. And then this is the last one. I would say, like I wrote on there, anti-Trump supporter. Because again, I didn't list Trump. I didn't say anything about the administration. I literally uploaded this because this is the third election that Christians have voted for Trump. And Trump is the furthest thing from God that there could be. And yet Christians follow him like crazy. And it's sickening. And so that's why I posted this. But again, nowhere on there is Trump's name. Nowhere on there is anything about the administration. But yet, it's supposed to be political. So as you can see, you've now seen all the posts that got me fired from my active duty job with the reserves that I have been active duty with for the last 4 years. All over posts that they want to say is political. The majority of them were about Israel, anti-Israel. And it just don't make sense. And what I would say to my fellow veterans and people on active duty, you need to stand up for what's going on in Palestine. Because there are women, children, babies, unarmed men, all being killed. It's not just a genocide anymore. This is a Holocaust. They are trying to wipe these people from the earth. And they don't intend to stop with Gaza. And this is why in my posts, in some of my posts, I said the Middle East needs to wake up. Because next, they're going for all their neighbors, which they've already been doing. Since they became a country, they have been going to war with their neighbors. They have been terrorizing their neighbors. And the funny part is every time they attack someone, they always say, we just want peace. We don't, like when they attacked Iran, we don't know why Iran's attacking us back. We just want peace. If you wanted peace, you wouldn't attack your neighbors. If you wanted peace, you wouldn't terrorize the Palestinian people. For years, the Muslim Palestinians, there were Muslim Palestinians, Christian Palestinians, and Jewish Palestinians that lived in peace side by side before Israel. They lived in peace. And then the British government wanted to have a colony in the Middle East, so they took the Holocaust survivors to the Middle East. And you would think these people, just going through what they went through from Hitler and Germany and the Germany military, would not turn around and do the same thing. But then they did. They did. They turned around and have been doing the same thing to the Palestinian people for 77 years that Hitler did to them. Gaza is just one big open-air prison. It's a concentration camp. It has been a concentration camp for over 50 years. It is ridiculous what is going on there and what the world is letting happen. Everyone is complicit. Everyone that stands by and lets these innocent people get murdered every day by the Israeli terrorist regime, you are complicit. It needs to stop. These people are dying right now. I just got off of an X Live event with 9 different people that were in Gaza, and I could hear the bombs dropping in the background. It's sickening what is happening to these people. The Middle East, the world, the United States, we all need to stand up for Palestine. We need to stop Benjamin Netanyahu. We need to stop the Israeli terrorist machine. We said never again after Hitler did what he did, and it's been going on for 77 years. It's sad when our adversaries, both China and Russia, have condemned what's going on, and the U.S. keeps supporting it. It makes no sense. More people need to stand up. More soldiers need to stand up. More veterans need to stand up. These people are human beings. If you believe in God, then you would believe He made us all equal. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, we are all equal. We were all created by the same God. You cannot say that they're not human beings. The terrorists wouldn't exist in the Middle East if it wasn't for Israel. Everyone wants to always cite Muslims as being terrorists, and they want to hate them because of it. The only terrorist that exists there is less than 1% of the total population, and they only exist because Israel exists. Because Israel is constantly going to war with their neighbors, because Israel is constantly bombing Iran and other countries. These people, they're not terrorists. They're freedom fighters. Hamas, they are freedom fighters because Palestine has a right to resist. All of these terrorist organizations that were labeled terrorist organizations, they're just fighting to live, for their people to live. Because who else is going to fight for them? The world has made it clear that they don't care about Palestine. They don't care about what's going on. They don't care about Lebanon. They don't care about Syria. How many times has Israel bombed Lebanon, bombed Syria, bombed Iran, bombed Iraq? It's non-stop. And then we only want peace. We only want peace. We don't know why the people in the Middle East hate us. because we only want peace. We didn't do anything to deserve this. I literally watched a video the other day of an Israeli stating that Israel should be attacking the United States because, saying that Iran should be attacking the United States because Israel attacked Iran. This Israeli actually said that Iran should not attack Israel. Iran should attack the United States because they, even though they're the ones that attacked. Because Israel just wants peace. And this girl was saying that Israel only attacked Iran for the United States. That's what she was saying in her interview. And so that Iran should be attacking the U.S. and not Israel. I mean, how twisted is that? You go to war with your neighbor, and then you tell your neighbor to attack the U.S. On top of which, the U.S. is providing you with money and weapons, and then you immediately turn on the U.S. and say, hey, we may have attacked you, but we did it for the U.S., so you need to go attack the U.S. That's what Israel's doing. Israel doesn't give a damn about the U.S. They only care about the money they can get from us so that they can continue their war machine against the Palestinian people and the rest of the Middle East. If they couldn't get money from us, they wouldn't give two shits about us. That's why when 9/11 happened, there were Israel Mossad agents dancing and happy about it in New York. And the FBI arrested them and had them in custody for months. And Benjamin Netanyahu even went on to say that 9/11 was a great thing to happen. How are we supporting this man when he himself said 9/11 was a great thing to happen? It was great for Israel, which is exactly why he said it's a great thing to happen. That is not an American ally. They're using the American people to bring war to the Muslim people. And every American should be outraged. Every single American should be outraged. Because they won't hesitate to turn their back on us. Where was Israel when we were at war with Afghanistan? Where was Israel when we were at war with Iraq? They sure as fuck wasn't there. The rest of the world was there with us. Israel was not. Israel would never shed blood for us, but they expect us to shed blood for them. They expect our treasure, our blood, our men and women to die for them. It's time to stand up. You either support the Palestinian people or you support genocide. You support the death of babies and children. I watched a video from an Israeli IDF soldier where the Israel army dropped a bomb on an 11-year-old girl carrying water. That's sickening. Another video where an Israeli soldier shot a baby in his mother's arms. It's sickening. You can't believe in a God that only supports white people. You can't believe in a God that apparently only created white people, is what it seems like the world thinks. At least white people think. God created all of us. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care what your religion is. If you believe that God created us, then you would stand with Palestine. because we are all equal in God's eyes. Religion should not divide us. The color of your skin should not divide us. Good morning, TikTok. So I'm posting a follow-up video on the situation that is going on. So on Monday, I had done a interview with Task and Purpose, and when they reached out to the Army, of course the Army denied an investigation. They denied it. So she asked me. I said, I don't know, maybe it takes a couple of days to go through, but it was denied. So then on Tuesday, I got a text from the officer that had counseled me, asking me to come to the unit Wednesday morning. So I did. Wednesday morning, I show up at the unit. There's literally 2 police cars with 4 MPs sitting there in the parking lot. So I almost just kept on driving because, I didn't know if they were going to try to arrest me or not. But I went ahead and stopped. I got out. I walked to the door. The officer that counseled me, he opened the door, waved to the police. And then they asked me to surrender my phone, which I had left in my car because I wasn't about to surrender my phone, and I was afraid they were going to ask for that. I don't know if they actually wanted it or if they just didn't want me to have it in the counseling. So we continue to go upstairs. I get counseled again. This time I'm getting counseled because I made a TikTok in uniform. So, and this time the commanding general of the 350th had signed off on a GOMAR, so I got a GOMAR. Of course, I'm fighting it. I talked to an attorney yesterday, so I have so much time to respond. And so my attorney is in the process of making a response to the GOMAR. And she believes, it'll go well for me. But again, they reiterated the counseling from last Thursday. They actually went through the entire counseling again from last Thursday, and they handed me the papers of all the posts again. And they had asked me if I had any questions. So this time I clarified. I said, on Thursday you told me that I was being investigated as a risk to national security. Is that true or not? Because it wasn't on the counseling. So the officer that did the counseling, immediately starts walking it back. He's like, oh, no, I misspoke. And then he's like, well, I really don't even think I said that. But if I did say it, I misspoke. You're not under investigation as a threat to national security. You're just under an investigation through the G2 as to whether you can keep your security clearance or not. And to determine whether or not you'll be allowed to use military computers again. So at this point, I'm going to share the screenshots that they have. And this time they had a few extra, which the few extra they had, I deleted over 2 months ago. So they got these from one of my friends on Facebook, who's also in my unit. They're not my friend now because they unfriended me right after, I guess, they took all the screenshots. But I'm going to let you decide on whether you think this is retaliation because some of this stuff is against Israel or what. So we're going to go through these. There is, I believe, about 16 of them. So I'll have the camera on each one for a short amount of time and talk about it. That's why when 9/11 happened, there were Israel Mossad agents dancing and happy about it in New York. And the FBI arrested them and had them in custody for months. And Benjamin Netanyahu even went on to say that 9/11 was a great thing to happen. How are we supporting this man when he himself said 9/11 was a great thing to happen? It was great for Israel, which is exactly why he said it's a great thing to happen. That is not an American ally. They're using the American people to bring war to the Muslim people. And every American should be outraged. Every single American should be outraged. Because they won't hesitate to turn their back on us.
Step 1, train the people only to consume. Step 2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step 4, separate the right from the left. Step 5, separate the white from the black.